These all started as messy drawings in my sketchbook. Today I'm going to show you how I turn simple doodles into finished stickers. Hi, my name is Hadley. I'm a 25-year-old artist trying to make my art shop my full-time job. And I love making stickers, so this is how I do it. Step one always starts in a sketchbook. Whether I'm looking back at old sketchbooks for new ideas, or if I have something specific that I know I want to turn into a sticker, I still start by drawing in my sketchbook. And that's what I did for my newest sticker. This is what the sketch looked like originally, and I didn't end up making too many variations, and I went straight into Procreate, but we'll get more into the digital side later. So when I first realized that I wanted to make stickers, my immediate thought was to look through my old sketchbooks for ideas. This one has some of my best ideas, I feel like. I think it's because of the format of this sketchbook. There's space to draw at the top and space to write at the bottom. Combining text and image is one of my favorite things, so this notebook just makes it so natural for me to do that. This sticker called Bumper to Bumper is the first one that I made, and it's based off of this sketchbook drawing that just says bumper to bumper to bumper to bumper to bumper all over. But this actually came from other designs because the way that I work in my sketchbook, I never knew any of this was going to become a sticker. My ideas tend to build on one another. So this was inspired by this drawing that I did. Kind of a similar idea to Bumper, a bunch of traffic, sandwich and boogers, dashed white lines and yellow lines and solid lines to Bluetooth phone calls. I was just making a list about traffic. This same sketchbook also helped me make my bow car, which combines my three favorite things: cars, bows, and glitter. It started with this drawing. Down here, I called this bow language. Just kind of like loopy little bows that looks like writing. That turned into literal bow cars, but I thought these were a little bit too weird looking. Put a big bow on top of this car. And that's when I landed on this one that I liked the best. But you can see that the original drawing is not that much different than the way the sticker came out. My final sticker that I've made from this sketchbook so far is my castle car sticker. I've always been into cars, but for a little bit I got really into castles too. So obviously I combined the two. It started with Castle Patrol. Then I made a few drawings where roads led up to the castle. Then I started adding words. The freeway was just like a fairy tale, and musical theater. Once upon a time, and that turned into a literal castle car. After I made that, I was really happy with it, and I made this little painting. The castle car in this sticker is actually exactly from this painting. I just scanned it in, touched it up a little bit in Photoshop, and the thing that's a little bit different about this one is it combines a literal painting and a Procreate drawing. When I submitted this design to be printed as a sticker, they couldn't cut around the castle car as intricately as I would have liked, so it ended up having this weird gap between the pillar things. It did not look good. So I made the background shape more simple. I wanted it to be more of a nighttime scene. I really like the way that the glitter contrasts against the dark gray. So that is always my second step when I'm making a sticker. I take a physical drawing and I turn it digital, whether that's manipulating the original image a little bit or totally redrawing it. This is my little freebie sticker. I call this the pinwheel car. You get this when you order anything from my website. It's kind of like the perfect size. They came out a little bit smaller than I expected. That's why I decided to make it a freebie. But that one came from this sketchbook and from this drawing specifically. And as you can see, it's painted right in the middle of the sketchbook, so there's a big seam. So I took my scanned version of the drawing into Procreate and I just hand drew over the seam with like lighter colors so that you couldn't tell that there were like shadows, but it still had that hand-drawn, hand-painted feel. And yeah, now you would just have no idea that this is from my sketchbook, literally. So those stickers all happened pretty naturally. I didn't go into it with the idea of turning them into anything, but my newest sticker, I had an idea, so I took it to my sketchbook and I came up with this. I love art books. I wanted a sticker that would like describe myself and my interests because art books are one of my favorite things. So phase 2, I took the idea to Procreate and I started drawing different variations of this. I tried stacking the books with like different angles, but it ended up looking unbalanced, like the stack of books could just fall over. So I like this wonky perspective one the best. It doesn't really make sense. It's not like real perspective, but that's kind of my favorite way of drawing. So once I get on Procreate, that's when I play around with like the line width, and I always end up making my colors a little bit lighter than I want them to actually be because the print always comes out a little bit darker. And when I'm setting up my file size, I always make it 1 1 or 2 inches bigger than the actual sticker design. That way I don't have to worry about pixelation. The other important thing before I start working on it digitally is to decide what kind of sticker I want to make, whether I want a glitter sticker, holographic, transparent, or just regular, because I incorporate that into the design. The bumper to bumper sticker, it was really natural for it to be transparent because otherwise, if this is just like a white sticker, I feel like the negative space inside of the heart is so awkward. Glitter stickers are my favorite, but sometimes you just need like a little basic white border. Sometimes that's the best for the design. Once I'm all happy with my design, the last step is I submit it to be printed, I get my proof back, and personally, I kind of don't like drawing out the border. It's just like not fun, it's annoying and tedious. So when I submit my design, I just write add a small border, and it's worked out every time so far. So that is how I make my stickers. I start with a sketch, manipulate it digitally, and then I submit it to be printed. If you enjoyed my process and want to follow my journey of becoming a full-time artist, please subscribe and also leave me a comment with any sticker recommendations or things that you would want to see, because I'd be really happy to make that. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I'll see you next time. Bye!